Crawford could beat him, because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes and be smart, he can win that fight. I think Crawford's a better fighter than Charlo, and he's a smart fighter as well. He switches and everything, so that would be a very good fight.
Again, we have a lot of disadvantage in this fight as far as the weight, as far as, would you say, power, and a lot of things that's on par as far as the accomplishments, as far as the skill set, different things of that nature. But we will climb that mountain.
But it's different when you're facing Canelo Alvarez up there, you know, not just at 168, but on the night, probably 180, 185. You know, it's going to be a big task.
The long-awaited fight that has had fans buzzing from day one is finally happening. Canelo and Bud Crawford are gearing up for an epic showdown. But given how tricky fight negotiations can be and all the behind-the-scenes drama, the recent announcement caught many off guard. Naturally, doubts started swirling. Was the news even real? Picking up on the skepticism, Terence's camp stepped in to set the record straight. Bernie the boxer, a key insider from Team Crawford, made a bold statement. The fight is officially locked in for September 13th. He urged fans to get ready for an unforgettable night.
Come on, baby. September 13th, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo. Listen how I said it.
Are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford, stand up. Pound for pound, the best in the world. Soon to be the super middleweight champion of the world. Yeah.
Bernie couldn't contain his excitement about Terence finally getting a shot at one of the best in the world. He stressed how crucial this fight is for Crawford's legacy. Despite already being a dominant name in boxing, Terence has always wanted to challenge the best across all weight classes to prove his unmatched skill. Bernie revealed that at one point, fighters like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather were considered for this matchup. However, despite numerous attempts, these legends either outright declined or carefully avoided facing Crawford to protect their own legacies.
What more can you ask for? This is a fight. We didn't get the Pacquiao fight. Obviously, you know, Mayweather or any of that caliber. So this is the fight. It might be a little bit, the guy's bigger. He has a lot of experience. He's young. Canelo, he 35, 34, something like that. Nothing ever come easy to us. Like I say, we didn't get a Pacquiao, but a guy who's more of our size with the global impact that he had. They made sure they stayed away from him. So,
addressing the concerns about the fight, Bernie passionately defended the matchup. He acknowledged the clear differences between the two fighters, particularly in size and power, advantages that favor Canelo. But one thing's for sure, Terence never backs down from a challenge, no matter how tough. This fight is no different. Even though Canelo is an incredible boxer, arguably the best of this era, Terence is stepping into the ring with full confidence, determined not just to win, but to carve his name into boxing history.
We take on tough challenges and we beat them. So they give us Canelo Alvarez, a hard puncher, of IQ of just the same caliber, and a legend, a great in his time. And it is what it is, you know. So that's the type of challenge that Crawford looked for, and it was only right. He deserved this challenge to be on this big stage in a mega fight, in a super fight, in what we call like a David versus Goliath battle. Again, we have a lot of disadvantage in this fight, as far as the weight, as far as would you say power, and a lot of things that's on par as far as the accomplishments, as far as the skill set, and different things of that nature. But we will climb that mountain.
4. Those doubting Terence's chances, Bernie dismissed their opinions as absurd and disrespectful. He argued that after everything Crawford has achieved, it's ridiculous to count him out so easily. Bernie listed Bud's many accomplishments and emphasized that he has reached heights in boxing once thought impossible. This, he explained, is proof of Crawford's relentless dedication and drive since the very beginning of his career.
Why? Why would he need to do that and all he's accomplished and all he's shown in the ring? Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? The things he done hardly been done before. You know, 2-time undisputed, unified champion in 3 weights. 3 weights. You understand that? 3 weights. So 4 weights, but 3 unified in 3. 5 we was the Ring Magazine, WBO.
40 undisputed,
40 we was
47.
undisputed, 47 undisputed. So unified champion in 3 weights. 4 division world champion. Been on the pound for pound list for the better of 10 years.
Still, not everyone is fully convinced. At the Pacho and Nelson press conference, well-known promoter Eddie Hearn expressed skepticism, pointing out that neither fighter has officially confirmed the date. This uncertainty has led many to question if the fight is genuinely happening. However, Eddie did reveal that His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh has been actively working behind the scenes to set up major fights. In the past week alone, he has met with nearly every key figure in boxing to decide which matchups deserve priority. With the massive fan interest in this fight, there's a strong chance it will become a reality based purely on demand.
Any information there?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, His Excellency was on the rampage over the last 7 days, just speaking to everyone and, putting plans together for lots of different fighters. Obviously, not all of those fights end up materializing, but he's got a very good success rate. So you'd have to think that there's a very good chance that fight's going to happen.
Eddie also noted that some people might be overhyping this fight, treating it as a career-defining moment for both fighters. He doesn't see it that way. In his view, this is an entertainment-driven fight designed to generate big money. The added hype only makes it more profitable for everyone involved. Eddie further argued that Terence is unlikely to fight at 168 ever again. After analyzing his last performance against Merv, it's clear that higher weight classes aren't his best fit. He advised Crawford to either stick to his current weight or move up gradually, warning that while this fight won't necessarily harm his career, he should still proceed with caution.
It's different when you're facing Canelo Alvarez up there, not just at 168, but on the night, probably 180, 185. It's going to be a big task because it's a freak fight, isn't it? It's not his career. He's not heading to 168 pounds. It's a one-off freak fight for a lot of money. That's what it is. And, after that fight, he's going to probably move back down to 154. But don't forget, I believe that physically he struggled a little bit against Madrimov. He struggled because Madrimov's a good fighter as well. But he's not really a big 154 pounder. And don't forget, he came up from 47. And before that, he was at 40. And before that, he was at 35.
Eddie also touched on the backlash Canelo has faced for downplaying Terence. He found it strange since, in boxing, every fighter has the right to assess their opponent. Looking at Terence's past fights at 140 and 147, there's nothing that would make Canelo see him as a serious threat. This might explain why Canelo seems to be underestimating him, assuming the fight will be an easy win that won't add much to his legacy.
You can always criticize resumes, can't you? You can say, well, this fighter at that time actually wasn't in his prime and that kind of stuff. The reality is that he's a four division world champion. He's undisputed at 40 and 47. I think his 140-pound wins probably weren't as strong as, he beat everybody he had to. The Errol Spence victory was obviously, but then moving to 54, Madrimov's a very good fighter as well, but...
Despite his reservations, Eddie still finds the fight intriguing. It may not be a dream matchup for hardcore fans, but there's undeniable curiosity surrounding it. It's rare for two of the greatest fighters of their generation to square off in such high stakes. What makes it even more compelling is that Terence is stepping into Canelo's territory, a bold move to cement his legacy. Eddie added that if Crawford pulls off a win, he'll dethrone Canelo and take his place as boxing's top star.
A very intriguing fight, two generational greats. To move from 135 to 168 and win the unified world titles. That would go down as one of the great victories of all time. But Bud, he's up for the challenge.
A major question surrounding this fight is how the deal will be structured. Over the past few months, Canelo has shown he operates on his own terms, regardless of external factors. Eddie, who has deep knowledge of boxing negotiations, revealed that Canelo might part ways with PBC and instead negotiate directly with Turki Al-Sheikh. This would allow him to bypass promotional restrictions and secure a deal that best suits his interests.
Which is not yet due. But if he sits there for another 6 months and gets 1 or 2 more wins, he's going to be mandatory for Canelo Alvarez, and that could be a huge fight.
How do you see the fight going in terms of things that Pacheco will have to deal with from Steve Nelson?
I think Nelson's IQ is very, very high. And I think being in that gym with Bud and Bomac and those kind of guys, they're technically very good. I think it's going to be a very cagey, tough fight in the opening few rounds. But I think Pacheco is punching very, very hard at the moment. I think his shot selection is very good.
Eddie strongly believes this fight is happening thanks to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh's relentless efforts. But as for the venue, many assume it will take place in Saudi Arabia. Eddie, however, shared that there's a strong chance the fight could be held in the US. This would better cater to the fight's primary audience, especially in the US, and avoid potential pay-per-view complications that could arise overseas.
Since he was 17 years of age, it's 5 years, and he's 22-0 now. And he's headlined in Mexico, he's headlined in Los Angeles, now he's headlining in Las Vegas. We're building him really well, but he's still a young man. And I think beyond Steve Nelson, there's definitely one more level to go before you fight Canelo Alvarez. There might be 2 more. So we just got to get it right with him. But everything that I'm seeing, and I love the way he came out of himself today at the presser. You don't really see that from Diego.
Adding to the pre-fight excitement, Eddie playfully teased Bud Crawford during an event for Patco and Nelson. He joked that before facing Canelo, Crawford should first test himself against other top contenders at 168. He hinted that Crawford is stepping into dangerous territory. However, Crawford brushed off Eddie's comments, staying laser-focused on his ultimate goal. He made it clear that at this stage in his career, he has no interest in facing anyone other than elite opponents like Canelo.
He asked me if I'm promoting Crawford. I said, I'm not involved in this.
Pacheco? Oh, man. Hey, listen. Hey, I might have to, yeah. Don't make me come up.
You see, the thing is, yeah, if you're gonna go up to 168 pounds, this is the kind. You know what I mean? This is. I mean, you look about 180 pounds already.
He gonna be coming for me.
I think so, yeah. Why is he gonna beat your man?
Huh?
Man, we gonna stop him.
Yeah.
Man, we gonna stop him.
There you go.
With the fight now confirmed, Terence has officially kicked off training camp. Known for his adaptability and high boxing IQ, he's now laser-focused on gaining an edge over Canelo. Reports suggest his training will prioritize increasing power and avoiding Canelo's devastating shots. The logic is simple. If he gets caught by a clean punch, recovering will be nearly impossible, no matter how much he prepares. As the fight draws closer, boxing legends are weighing in. Amir Khan, who once faced Canelo, believes this will be a thrilling matchup for both fans and the sport itself. Breaking it down, he acknowledged Canelo's knockout power, but praised Crawford's ability to adapt in the ring. He argued that, while many underestimate Crawford due to the size difference, he's actually a more skilled fighter than some of Canelo's past opponents. If he stays sharp and defends well, he could pull off a massive upset.
Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes and be smart, he can win that fight. I think Crawford's a better fighter than Charlo. And he's a smart fighter as well. He switches and everything, so that would be a very good fight.
One topic that keeps resurfacing is Floyd Mayweather's take on the fight. According to social media analyst Blue Blood Sports, Floyd's stance might be influenced by personal bias. Unlike Amir Khan, Floyd doesn't seem to think much of this matchup. He appears to want his own fight with Canelo to remain the most significant showdown of this era.
I would say that Floyd Mayweather would say, the obvious. They both hell of a fighters. It's going to be a tough task, right? But if Terence Crawford lost, deep down would he rejoice? I'm pretty sure he would, right? Because that speaks volumes to what he was able to do, right? With no quote unquote asterisk by it. Would essentially hate on the situation. Reason being is because the fact that he don't want anybody to surpass his accomplishment.
Blue Blood Sports also pointed out that Floyd Mayweather, despite being one of the greatest, has a history of feeling threatened by fighters who could surpass him, like Terence Crawford. He noted the physical similarities between Floyd and Terence, but suggested that in terms of their career paths, Terence might have an edge, especially if he wins this fight. He also highlighted how the Canelo that Floyd fought was much younger and still developing, whereas today's Canelo is far more skilled, experienced, and dangerous.
Unified champion and has successfully defended his titles 5 times. Now, he was 23 years of age. Today, he's 35 years of age, right? So he's significantly older. He's more seasoned, and he's been in a lot bigger fights, right? So he's definitely a different fight.
So, what do you think? Do you believe the reported fight date is legit, or do you think this matchup will fall apart again? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.